in other climes, they will be referred to as Homeland Security and Foreign Intelligence Chiefs. But we have a different nomenclature for them right here in Nigeria. So it was over the weekend when there was a change of guard in the major Nigerian intelligence agencies. The NIA and the DSS. President Bola Tinubu approved the appointment of Adeola Ajayi as the Director General of the State Services, DSS, to replace Mr. Yusuf Bichi, who was appointed by former President Muhammadu Buhari in 2018. The President also appointed Mohammed as the Director General of the National Intelligence Agency. Take a look at their pictures there. Those who are in and those who are out. Bichi out, Ajayi in, Mohammed in the NIA, and of course, Abubakar out at the NIA. So Adeola Oluwatosin Ajayi is now the new DG and the new chief of the DSS. Why Yusuf Magaji Bichi is now out. He served under Buhari. Both of them, Ahmed Abubakar and Bichi, served under President Muhammadu Buhari, and President Tinubu inherited their leadership into his government. Of course, there are those who will say Ajayi will lead the Homeland Security apparatus, as being known in other climes, why the Foreign Intelligence Chief, similar to the CIA in the United States, to be led by Mohammed now. Is it coincidence that the president made those appointments around the same day, around the same time? It looks like there is a strategy behind it. A lot of people will think in the security community, those thinking will come up when you make those kind of changes around the same time, especially because intelligence is at the heart, especially at home and abroad, is at the heart of national security. And again, you will look at it that these two men, one is taking over today and the other took over yesterday. Now, what does this mean for our national security? I'm being joined tonight by someone who is in the know. He's played all his life in that water, in the Nigerian Department of State Services. He rose to becoming a director. Chief Mike Ejiofor. Thank you so much, Moses Ali, for joining me.
Thank you very much.
With your red hat, it signifies that you've got some chieftaincy title, isn't it?
No, I don't intend to be one. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Let's get a sense, simply and straightforward. Is it strategic, or is there any meaning to the president's decision of these two intelligence agencies? These are probably the biggest of intelligence agencies in Nigeria, and they were changed within 48 hours.
I think it's strategic. There's no meaning to it. If you recall that when the president came in, he changed the service chiefs, leaving the two intelligence agencies. And of course, one can hazard a guess. The reasons are obvious. That operations are driven by intelligence. And maybe he needed to give them time to settle down with the new service chiefs that are taking over. And I think he has a prerogative. The president has the prerogative to appoint and to fire. So I don't think it's a normal thing, it's a routine thing that he has decided this time to get the two people replaced. But I must also, if you see the president, the release from the special advisor to the president, he commended the two service intelligence officers and wished them well. For Mr. Bichi, I think he has done his bit. He has done well to the best of his ability. And the incoming DG, Mr. Tosin Ajayi, also a lot of expectations from him, awaiting him as he takes over. So I also want to wish him well in his new appointment.
I mean, it's interesting. So you look at it, a few times we've had situations where DSS DG have been brought from outside to head the agency. But Tosin Ajayi is someone who started his career, grew to be a director, has led several states just like you did in the DSS. And what kind of quality does that kind of personality, someone you can call him a system man, he understands the DSS from his day one till up until getting to the highest office at the Director General. What does that mean for the service?
Well, it means a great deal, a lot for the service. First of all, you know, if you appoint, I have always advocated against it, you know, appointing people from outside or retired,
yeah,
because it kills career progression. So you can see that with his appointment, he's very much welcome, and he helps to enhance, you know, career progression for the serving officers. Everybody's looking up to. There's only one person that will be DG at a time. We don't expect everybody to be DG, but if you're walking towards a limit or an apex, and you don't have the opportunity of getting there, one is discouraged. So for Mr. Ajayi, the much I know about, because I know him very well, just like I also know Mr.
You were a senior, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like I know Mr. Bichi. He's handled complex and difficult states. If you look at Cross River State, for instance, he was able to manage the dramatis personae in stormy political terrain of River State. And looking at, you understand what I mean, the problems in the, but he was able to manage it. So I expect also that he will be able to bring this to bear at the national front, reconciling people, bringing the staff together, and uniting Nigeria.
We don't know what exactly the issues were. Either people were jubilating, we saw some social media videos, whether they were jubilating about Tosin Ajayi or they were happy about the exit of Bichi. We don't know which is. I mean, it could be either of the two, either a jubilation of the entrance of Tosin Ajayi or the exit of Bichi. It could be any of the two. But whatever be the case, there seems to be a new energy now, considering the kind of social media that emerged from the DSS. And a lot of people will imagine that for an entity like that, for that kind of video emerging, it means something.
Yeah, well, I think I was on another platform yesterday. Some of those videos are old videos, as far back as 2018, not new videos. You know, mischief makers, if you look at the social media, the way they go about all this. But granted, without conceding that it's a new thing. In any given society, when you have new appointments like that or elections are over, people are bound to jubilate. Some people will say, yeah, we're happy our man is coming in. Some people will say that, so it's a natural thing. I don't think there's any, but I think it's just the work of mischief makers, because the SSS is a professional body. Anybody who must have put all those, whether it is old or new, you just have to cause mischief. And I think also the DG will address that.
So you look at Mohammed. He's also an NIA born-bred professional. Started his career off in 1995 or so, and he grew to the ranks, served in Libya, served in Korea, Pakistan, and he's also had an opportunity to grow, even to work, to serve in the State House before now becoming the DG of the NIA. Now, this is another insider becoming the Director General of that agency. From your own point of view, what does that also mean?
Yeah, you see, like I said, apart from enhancing career progression, that people are there, you have worked with a lot of them. You know their capacity, you know their capabilities. Unlike somebody who has retired, you must have worked with some people too, but you might not ascertain their capacity at any given time. But somebody who is in service knows the people. So I expect that the two of them should not only work together, both for the domestic and the external intelligence, but they should also be able to get the their staff, motivate staff, and push them. I'm sure they are coming in with vibrant and new ideas that will take the services, the two services, to the next level.
But what kind of handshake are you expecting? Do they usually, does the DSS and NIA work together?
Oh, sure. They are expected to work there, and they have been working together. Because if you get a foreign external intelligence that concerns internal security, you pass it on to the domestic intelligence service, which the SSS. And if you have any external intelligence too, generated by the SSS, it's passed on to the NIA, which is the foreign intelligence service, for them to act upon. So there must be that synergy. And don't also forget that the president charged them to work closely, especially with the National Security Advisor, to ensure we have enormous security challenges. We have a lot of security challenges. And I think the only way to go about it is not just synergy and collaboration between the two intelligence services, but with other security, the armed forces and the police. Police, of course, you know, is the lead agency in terms of maintenance of.
So usually, people have always criticized our intelligence as always being our vulnerable spot in terms of national security.
I don't think so. But the problem is that the intelligence is available, but in terms of execution, in terms of capacity of the action agencies, you see they are handicapped, so you don't blame them. So I believe that as they come in, as we are generating intelligence, you must also be able to get these people to work together and ask the federal government to look more closely in terms of funding, in terms of training, in terms of welfare for the personnel of the agencies, so that they'll be able to effectively handle our security challenges.
Yeah. Let me bring in some other perspectives. I'm being joined by a scholar and extreme violence and terrorism expert and analyst, Mr. Bulama Bukati, who joins us virtually from London. Thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight. I mean, what's your own view? There are those who will say the CIA of Nigeria is the NIA, the DSS is the Homeland Security, and you see this kind of appointment. It comes in the same month there was a threat which the federal government has come out to say that protest could be a threat to our national security. And we're seeing intelligence agencies' heads or chiefs being changed. What do you make of it from your own point of view?
You see, I think the resignation of the two directors general and their replacement in 1 week would not be a coincidence. When we see these kinds of resignations, is usually triggered by the president himself or those authorities responsible, where they ask the heads or persons responsible for particular positions to resign, so that it is on record that they resign, but the resignation was asked for by the president or the appointing authority. And I think this could be what happened in this situation. It could be the presidency asking these two directors general to resign, and then the president now appointed two new heads of the two intelligence agencies. And so I don't think it's a coincidence. And when we see presidents do that, it is either they are not very happy or satisfied with the job those who are resigning are doing, or maybe they are happy, they are satisfied, but they do want to reshape things in terms of remodeling the kinds of the approach to security or the particular issue at hand, in this case, the intelligence agencies. So I think it was triggered most likely by the presidency, and it could be because the presidency wants to change the way things are at the intelligence agencies concerned, or the president is not satisfied with what is going on. And of course, we wish well to those who have been relieved of their duties or who have resigned. And we also wish well and good luck to those who have just started. They are going to face a daunting task because they would be navigating a complex security environment I am talking about the new directors general, but they are also going to deal with the need to build or enhance capacity and trust, public trust amongst these security agencies. But we do wish them well, and I'm sure they would work side by side with the National Security Advisor and the service chiefs, as well as the Inspector General of Police and other paramilitary like the Customs and Immigration, because we need them to all work together. We need all hands on deck. We need them to work in synergy and coordination and cooperation for us to succeed as a country.
Do you see any correlation whatsoever? Because there was an incident on the ground here in Nigeria, and there are inferences that are being drawn to those who are in the intelligence community that will tell you that the incident, either the raid in the labor house, which the police came on this program to say, look, it has an international dimension and there is a character that the police are in search of, and also what happened and what in the protest, and that those who in the intelligence community who will tell you that there are some external and fifth columnists who also played a role in mobilization or whatsoever. Do you see any correlation in this appointment or relieving of duties and this appointment to all of what has happened over the last week in this same month?
Look, I don't want to second guess the president, and it's very difficult to go into his mind to understand what might have played a role. But I think one thing we do need to consider is the fact that both of these directors general were appointed by the previous president, and it is mostly almost a convention now. It is almost a tradition or a culture, if you like, that new presidents appoint new service chiefs and new intelligence agent heads. So this could be the factor, but I am not completely ruling out that the recent protests might have played a role and the other issue you mentioned, but I don't know, and I don't want to start second guessing on a national television. It is possible that they did play a role in the mind of the president when he was making these decisions, but I do think it is more important for us to look at the fact that these were individuals appointed under President Buhari, and the Director General of the DSS has spent at least 5 years serving, and I think it's time for someone else to come and show their ability and capability and wherewithal. And so I do think whatever could be the reason, the most important thing is for these the new heads to understand that we are facing a very complex security environment in our country, and there is deficit of trust and confidence in the intelligence and law enforcement agencies in Nigeria, and they have to start acting very quickly to restore public confidence, to strengthen or enhance institutional integrity within the agencies they would be heading, but also work assiduously together with other stakeholders in this area to get a grasp of the security challenges we have in the country.
Yeah, one thing that is important, though, is the roles of these agencies compared to what we see in the UK. It's different. MI5, isn't it? It's called in the UK. CIA in the United States. But with their roles, what are the tasks do you think that are ahead of these new chiefs?
Yeah, so we know that these are two distinct agencies, but which are supposed to work together under the National Security Advisor. We know that the NIA is the body responsible for external threats and foreign intelligence. So they are mostly dealing with anything that has to do with external threat to Nigeria's existence or to Nigeria's security and defense, and also gathering foreign intelligence and undertaking counterintelligence operations. While on the other hand, the DSS is concerned with domestic threats and domestic intelligence. And so their focus is about what is it that is threatening Nigeria and its corporate existence, its national security inside the country. So both agencies are fundamental to our national security, but they do have a slightly different jurisdiction and remit and focus, but both of them are expected to work together, as Chief Mike alluded to, and they are both expected to work together with the National Security Advisor in particular and the presidency in general. So they do need to work together. And when you look at our threats, showing the current threats in the country, whether it's the Boko Haram threat or the situation in the northwest or the northeastern part, the southeastern part of Nigeria, all of these threats are within Nigeria, but they do get fed from by, you could say, funding in some cases, but also equipment and weapons and ammunitions which are imported into Nigeria from outside the country. And so you can see a role for the DSS there, you can see a role for the NIA there, and they have to work together. But also when you have stuff like the protests, like you said, the protests we know developed organically inside Nigeria because of the socio-economic circumstances in the country. But there are accusations or allegations by the government that there were foreign elements who influenced or funded part of the protest or all of it. And so you can see a role also for both agencies coming together to work together in this kind of environment. And of course, we are dealing with a very fast-changing world in terms of cybersecurity, in terms of economic sabotage, which both have internal and external elements in terms of both domestic and, the factors that are outside Nigeria. And so I think more than ever before, these two agencies have got to work together. They have got to plan, coordinate their activities together, and it's not just about sharing intelligence or knowledge, but it's about working together, hands in glove, in order to tackle the challenges, because almost no challenge right now in Nigeria that is within their remit is either exclusively domestic or exclusively external. They are both intertwined, and they have got to understand this dynamic and work together if they were to succeed.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Bukati. Before we wrap up this conversation, from an expert, for someone who has been on the inside for several years, how can the president get the most out of these two men? And what do you see them being able to achieve if they work together?
Well, if they work together, they are no magicians. They will expect that they will work together, but they need more of citizen support. People should be conscious of the environment, conscious of their responsibility, not only to the services, but to the state. And it's very, very key. If people don't cooperate, and I want to use this last opportunity too, to advise our politicians, because more than 70% of our security challenges are politically generated. So they should think of Nigeria, not themselves. That's the only way you can assist these people to succeed in tackling some of these security challenges. Let's think Nigeria first.
How strategic or significant is intelligence at this point that we are in our country?
Very, very important, very key, because there are operations being carried out by the action agencies, the military, and the police are driven by intelligence. So they must provide accurate and timely intelligence to enable the country succeed.
Mr. Mike Ejiofor, thank you so much. Always a pleasure giving us this kind of insight. I appreciate your time. And Mr. Bulama Bukati, thank you so much also for the knowledge you have shared with us, both of you. Thank you so much indeed for your time. We take a break, everyone, but when we come back, we talk partisan politics. What is happening in the All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA? But they call it APUGA. But when we come back, well, is the APUGA in trouble, or APUGA is ready for some kind of revolution? What exactly is happening with their leadership? Is it Edozie Njoku or Sly Ezeokenwa? We'll find out after this break, everyone. Let us see.